If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VillageXchange. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes.
Okay,
now.
next song.
Listener.
Cauldron Brood, I believe was the name of it.
Really?
The band. Well, I'm going off memory right now. Memory, pull it up. Well, no, you gotta.
Yeah.
Echoes of Battle.
Caladan Brood.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if that was next on the list. That's why I just wanted to just check the Trello board real quick just to make sure. Yep. Echoes of Battle is the name of the song. Let's check it out.
Caladan Brood is the band. We are Vin and Sori. Our DJ is Metal Cat.
In case you were confused,
if you don't know, now you know.
You know, people are still in the comment section saying, "Why is this woman apologizing?" That's never gonna get old. Yeah, because that's our... Well, no, the audio... Your headphones will stop working, I think, if you shut it off. And we have enough charge here, so you might be okay. Unbelievable. That was beautiful. We're still good?
Yep.
I guess we have to shut these off, though, because we can use our battery.
No.
Huh?
Leave it.
Okay. So yeah, that was beautiful. It was epic. There was the rising action, the vocal style, like, it did kind of sound like chanting on some of the spots. And then, like you pointed out midway through, like, I was like, what is that? And you said like the clashing of the swords and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. I just loved the journey that this song experientially, the sound feels internally was just really crazy.
Is Caladan Brew? What's the name of this song?
No,
I'm just gonna get it.
I've forgotten.
I'm just gonna get it immediately.
The name of the song is "Echoes of Battle." Right, I should have known. All right. Wow.
Yeah. That
Echoes of
song
Battle.
was pretty.
Add to playlist.
Freaking incredible.
Boom.
Incredible.
You can't add the whole album, Vin. I'm sorry. You can only add the one song. I know that's killing you.
Like.
Wow. Even, you know what? You guys don't even know, but this is actually a very big compliment for Dwayne to give.
Agree.
An 80% on something.
For Dwayne.
That means it's really top notch.
Dwayne likes goblin vocals the way that I like prog. I mean, yeah. I would say it's about the equivalent. I haven't seen anybody as consistent in something as that with that. So shout out to him. But yeah, man, this song was absolutely crazy. It was absolutely crazy. The musicianship on this record was insane. It got better and better, and it got really ambitious because there are a couple points where I could definitely see somebody saying, "Yo, that shit's corny, bro."
Oh, really?
Like, because
I'm not a guitar player.
It like sound some of it was synthetic, but it sounded like whoa. You know, some of it just sounded like fairy tale-ish to me, but it just worked in the song, man. I don't care. It just worked. But like I thought that was ambitious.
You mean like Lord of the Ringsy, sort of like that sort of.
Yeah, it was very.
Oh, I agree. I experienced that as well.
Avengers, hero scene when they come back, and you know what I'm saying. Like there were a couple moments like that where I could definitely see, especially like if you're like a grungy hardcore metalhead, like I could definitely see folks being like, "Yo, that shit's corny, bro. I don't want to put that in the song." But I don't know, man. It worked. It worked. It worked. It worked. It worked.
I loved it.
This song was absolutely freaking incredible. I mean, lyrically, we'll get into lyrics in a second, but like just sonically, man, that sound was insane. It was just like I don't really have like the words to say like how sonically
what it felt like,
how it affected me. Yeah, like it's that.
Yeah, the look on your face was actually.
Well, I mean, the lyrics.
It was the lyrics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like at first, it looked like you were like just experiencing the music, and then all of a sudden, it looked like the lyrics caught you. What does pathos mean?
That's another root word for passion. It's very close.
Okay. So lyrically, we're going for it's a battle song.
Yeah. There's a deep pathos here, a monumental sorrow. Blood has stained this ground. Van land itself a borrow. The echoes of battle ring cold through the ages. The moon shines on old dunes, awakening ancient hatreds. Like,
I missed that.
Yeah, like I was just so blown away. Like I felt like the death lyrics or the goblin lyric vocals, whatever you want to say. Like I'm good with it. It works for me in the song. The only thing where when I listen to this stuff is, especially when I read lyrics like that, I'm like, yo, people who are not already predisposed to like exploring and hearing what you have to say, they're going to miss out on some really good lyrics, man. because vocally you're not as accessible. You see what I'm saying? But that line right there, like the echoes of battle ring cold through the ages, the moon shines on old dunes, awakening ancient hatreds. Just the structure of that is just fucking beautiful, right?
Yeah,
so it's like the it's just
wait. That's so funny. I would have not described that as fucking beautiful. Like awakening, or you're saying the way they worded it.
Right.
Yeah,
like it's Shakespearean. Like a lot of that shit's like to be or not to be, that is question, whether there's noble or mind. I mean, the guy's contemplating suicide, but everybody says that that's a beautiful kind of little soliloquy.
I never realized that's what he was doing.
Yeah, he's saying to be or not to be. That is the question, whether it is noble or in the mind to deal with the slings and arrows that men blah, 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 blah. You know, so he's like fighting with himself as to whether or not he should kill himself or if there's any virtue in continuing to live on. That's the entire point of that soliloquy.
Gosh. I know, but you know, to be honest with you, I've only ever heard it quoted in like a, you know, when people are just kind of like jokingly like, to be or not to be, that is the question. And then that's all I've ever heard of it. I didn't have any context for it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I said your will is like Shakespeare. You were choosing not to be. You don't get it. You don't get it.
William Shakespeare.
Yeah, so the echoes of Billy, the echoes of battle ring cold through the ages, the moon shines on old dunes, awakening ancient hatreds. No, when you think about Israel, Palestine, like, when I grew up as an evangelical, I heard, oh man, then people have been fighting forever. It's like, no, they haven't.
That's what I heard too.
They have not been fighting forever. No, they haven't.
You know what we were taught? I don't know if you were taught this too, was that from the brothers, Jacob and Esau fighting in the womb.
Yeah.
Those nations, it said that they were always going to be basically at war with each other. Yeah, and then they would tell us that that's what was happening. It was Israel and Palestine. And I'm pretty sure they were talking about
Esau
it doesn't even
is
go
not
to
an
that
Arab.
bloodline.
Esau is not an Arab. Arabs don't descend from Esau. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even know how
how
did I even fall for that?
You can't even get there biblically that you can get you can get the Arabs out of Esau. I mean, Arabs are mentioned explicitly in Nehemiah. Like the term Arabs is mentioned. They were part of the group that was mocking Nehemiah when they were building the wall.
So which two groups is it, Jacob and Esau? Because it does say that they're going to war against each other.
No. I mean, it says that there are two nations in the womb, and it says they're oppressing each other, which they were right from the womb and right from their sibling rivalry. It says the older will serve the younger, and then it says that the younger one, the older one will break out after a time and go off and live by himself, and he'd be a king of many nations, all the rest of it. But like, you can't right here, like biblically speaking. You cannot make, and historically, you just historically cannot make the argument that the Middle East has been a tinderbox every year and that the Arabs and the Jews are locked in mortal combat forever. Like, you can't make that argument even historically. Now, I was talking to one of my friends. I'm like, okay, why was there relative peace between 1900 and 1947 in that area? And then the secularists came in with their plans to get, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, But on the other hand, like, I remember one of the main reasons I never joined a gang was because I didn't want to inherit other people's beef. And if you joined a gang, you inherited the beef of people that like you had nothing to do with. So it's like these ancient hatreds. It's like I didn't want to die for some stupid. Like I didn't want to die. Period. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to die. So I didn't join a gang because I felt like, if I join a gang, the likelihood of me dying increases exponentially because you got to keep inheriting other people's shit. Like, at least if we go solo, that's what I told the guys. I'm like, if we go solo, then we could decide if we're going to move on somebody or not. But if we join a gang, we don't have that power anymore. Like, dude's point, we got to click. That's it.
Move. Yeah.
So
I would not like that either.
Yeah, but like, that's the thing, like awakening ancient hatreds. Like some of these people, you inherit these beasts and you don't even hate the people, but you have to train your mind that you do hate those people.
Ben, you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what I did. I did mix it up. I think that they said that about Jacob and not Jacob and Esau, but Isaac and
you still can't make a biblical or lexical or
even for them
or historical correlation between Ishmael and Arabs. Like
you can't.
You can't. You know what I'm saying? Like the Arab Peninsula.
The problem is still there, but you're right.
The Arab Peninsula is a very distinct place, and there are very distinct people that lived there for millennia.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but like that's just a crazy line to me when you talk about ancient hatreds, because it's like, as I said, like you end up beefing with people, and you know, I mean, somebody could say, well, isn't the same thing if you join the military or join some intelligence apparatus? You're you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But my whole thing was no, because I
signed up for the cause.
I was attacked. They attacked us. So this is retaliation. We're already in the gang. If you're in America, you're in the gang, right? So they already attacked us.
Yeah, okay.
So
yeah,
that's it. That's it.
Makes sense.
So like, just that mindset is crazy, and it, you know, it just, you know. But then when you know, the second half of the song, which obviously a little bit difficult, empires built upon the bones of those who stood beside us.
Yeah.
The sun is set eternally into the dark. We have seen the fields of war steal the lives of sons and brothers. The iron heart of glory beats a hollow dirge. The gods of battle rise and fall, but the thirst for blood lives on. This stanza right here is what?
Did you win?
The gods of battle rise and fall, but the thirst for blood lives on.
Holy shit.
The wolves of winter rise and howl for honor's debt.
Wow.
So you got dudes like literally like in the ground and under the ground because they had a debt to pay to the concept of honor itself. Because that is a lot of what happens. Like if you really like really sit and talk to dudes who select like these combat MOSs and put themselves in situations where like they have to fight. When you really talk to them dudes and all the people around them that they're not supposed to like give honest answers to are gone, a lot of them dudes say, and like you heard one of it, there was a hostage situation and the dude and then they were doing a workup to like spin out and get these hostages, and then the dudes who held these people hostage decided to let them go. But the way that the guy who was about to go in characterized that situation of them being let go, he said, hey man, it was just bad luck. And he's talking about the fact that he and his boys didn't get to go in there and fight. So like, and that event happened literally 30 years ago, but like the way that he's talking about it, like he's still saying, oh, that was bad luck.
Yeah. And
like, he doesn't realize that the rest of the world is looking at him like, dude, the hostage, this is the best possible situation.
Yeah.
But on a more serious note, the fact of the matter is a lot of dudes do that because they simply wanted to test themselves, man.
Yep. I bet.
That's it.
I bet.
That's really it. And
that is kind of when
they
you
were
play
happy.
Those things, that's kind of what I'm hearing from them. Why they joined.
They were everybody was fucked up over 9/11, but they were happy because they knew they were guaranteed to fight. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of people in the warrior class or the warrior caste, in all different forms of what that comes into, whether it's that or you're a boxer or a UFC guy, which I will say definitively at some level is equivalent, because believe me, if it wasn't for the fact that there are trained medical professionals there and the refs have the absolute authority in that ring, people would be dying in bunches at UFC. But all those people, like in UFC, they'll tell, oh, I'm fighting for my family. Oh, I'm going to be this or that. This is a lifestyle, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, those people would find people to fight if they weren't in UFC. Because for the vast majority of people that I've seen that put themselves in the way of professional violence, there are all these other reasons that society says, tell us that's why you did it. And then we go back to society. Okay, I will lie to you and tell you that's why I'm doing it, and you lie to me and tell me that I'm doing a good thing for for the good of the world. And that's the exchange that goes on with a lot of people. But like, make no mistake about it, there's a lot of dudes that enjoy the opportunity to test themselves. And it's a crazy thing to say, but a lot of dudes are like that, and I've heard that like over and over and over again. But then you think about empires built upon the bones of those who stood beside us.
Yeah.
You know, that's tough, you know, because then you say like, oh, you know, this person died in vain, and it's like, yeah, but that's what they wanted to do, and they were happy that they got an opportunity to fight. And like, somebody said that to me one time, and I'm like, how the hell is that comforting? How is that a comforting idea? Like, he has a 6-year-old. Like, who fuck? Like, what? But he's like, but he's like, yeah, he knew he had a 6-year-old when he decided he was gonna, you know.
But we still have to be sad for the 6-year-old.
He's like, he knew what it was.
Oh, that's so sad.
He said he knew what it was, and I'm like, yeah. So on the one hand, like, for a lot of times, like, Afghanistan would come up, and I'd be like, oh man, what are we doing over there? You know, people dying for no reason over there, blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah, man, like, that's true, but a lot of these dudes, they were not like hapless people who got shoved into a war. It's not what happened with a lot of dudes. Like, it's a horrible, dirty secret, like, to say, but a lot of them dudes didn't care about the legitimacy or illegitimacy of the war. They just cared about the opportunity to fight. And I'm not saying that as a person. I'm obviously not saying that as a person who can judge anybody with that mentality. I'm just saying that that's an ugly thing about folks that doesn't get brought up, because it's much easier to look at the government and say, you wasted the lives of these people that you were not worthy of even having command over. Like, that's one side of it. But on the other side of it, it's like, I literally had a conversation with you where you said, like, that was one of the happiest days of your life when shit happened and you knew you were going to get into combat. So it's like, okay, then what is his life? Was his life wasted? Because that's what he wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he wanted to do, and that's what, you know, that event gave him the opportunity to exercise that thing. So is it really the government that's the problem? Did the government put him there, or did the government give him the opportunity to walk out the shit? Because somebody told me, like, hey, you just got to get the shit out of your system, you know? You got to get out of your system. And, you know, for a lot of young men, like, doing that, like, gets it out of their system. And and so, like, it was in his system.
You've met a lot of people where it's out of their system once they did it. Every time you play those, you know, like, you know, that.
No, like,
what's his face's show? Everybody always sounds like they want to go back.
Well,
they want to be there still. I haven't heard anybody on that thing so far. But I mean, I've probably listened.
Yeah, but they want to go back for a different reason. They want to go back for a different reason than they wanted to go in the first place. You want to go because you want to test yourself. You want to see.
And you want to go back.
In the most extreme way possible. Can I do this?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Can I do the thing that only 0.001% of human beings ever done? And you, like, killing in war is different than even just killing. Because if you're a serial killer, you're the aggressor and the person has no chance because this is common society, and in common society we don't kill. But what about when the other guy's trained too? That guy's trained. So this is a pinnacle of, you know, whatever. It's sick, it's bad, blah blah blah. But if people are in it, they're in it. That's the mentality. And so, like, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like, well, then how can I be mad at the government for your loss when that's what you wanted to do.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that side of it.
And so but why would they want to go back? Well, they want to go back because the brotherhood that gets created in that circumstance is impossible to replicate over here. So they miss that. They miss being able to look somebody in the face and say, oh yeah, man, XYZ. And you know it's going to be good because you could literally trust that person with your life. It's hard to go from a tight-knit group of friends who literally will lay down each other's, and you know they'll be willing, and there's like physical evidence,
right? Yeah,
like you can watch on a replay, like, yo, to go from that to come back, and you know it's hard. It's a completely different language. You have to re-verify things. You have to, you know, it's and the intensity level isn't there. The intensity of the emotion isn't there, which is also like physiologically hard to deal with because, as I said, your body's constantly pumping and dumping you full of adrenaline and things like that to get you to safety in your fight or flight, whatever. And so you then become addicted to that cycle. And it's not necessarily, it's an adaptogenic addictive disorder, something like that. I forgot what but it's basically where your body is faced with these intense situations, and so you get this adrenaline wash, and then it cycles, and then you have a calm down period, and then you're back again, and it cycles, and then the cycles are irregular because, I mean, there's some groups where they were literally out every night. There are other groups where it's like, it's not like that. So there'll be a stretch where it's like 3 or 4 days, it's bang, 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 and then it's 2 days of literally nothing. So anyway, when your body adapts to that kind of, when you go home and everything is flat, you end up looking like an absolute roller coaster. People think you're crazy. Nobody understands you. So the only people that get you are the people that, you know, so you want to go back there, you know, and
wow. Okay.
So they want to go back, but that doesn't mean it's not out of their system. The fact that they're sitting there talking to people means it's out of the system because they want to go back and they're here. And those people are not people that talk. They do shit. So, nice. Yeah. Canada rocks.
What's up, Canada?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, I do want to put this out there because I do think that this is important. You know what most people who test themselves like that need to realize when they're on their deathbeds, when they go to the judge, the judge taught them right or wrong. That's fear. Yeah. I do want to not leave that. Like, I do, like, I don't know. Maybe your war is going to be China and you're some, you know, strapping young 16, 17-year-old lad and you're looking at min qual requirements and you know you can make it and all the rest of it. You probably will, man. More power to you. But if you're just signing up to test yourself, God knows the motive, right? So it's like all that shit that works with us, it's not going to work with him. Like, oh, man, I signed up because, you know, blah, 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 blah. God's like, nah, dude, you signed up because you want to put bullets in people, man. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have to answer for that, just like, you know, everybody is. I love that this song is...
that goes for every topic, though, not just for people, you know, that join wars and go out and kill people. Like, all of us are gonna find ourselves in the same situation, and that's when all the facades and all the things that we, you know, told ourselves was the actual reason for why we did the things that we did, they don't mean anything, because all of that is going to be done away with, and the only thing that you're going to be left with is the pure intention of what you were doing. And that's it. Like, we're going to stand before God with our pure intention, and he's going to see through everything. There's no bullshit there. So, I mean, it's a sobering thought sometimes when you think about it, because it's like,
yeah,
how many times do we actually spend the time to be like, you know, what was my motive for that? Like, why did I actually do that? Because, you know, like, sometimes I'll find that you're frustrated about something, and then you go out and you have an engagement with somebody, and that person might have been having a bad day too for some reason or another, and they didn't treat you in the way that you felt like you should be treated in the moment, and then you go off on them, or you treat them in some sort of way, like, and you want to be like, well, it's because that person was doing, you want to put the blame on that person, instead of realizing that maybe you did something to create the situation that got you in the first place to go after that person. I mean, there's just millions of things that we do to justify our actions. And I think it's easier to look at somebody who's gone over and put bullets in people, and it's a little harder to maybe look at, you know, we all haven't been in the military or any, you know what I mean? So we all haven't been in those situations, but we've all been in situations where we've hid our motives, I think, from ourselves, or maybe we didn't care. Maybe we had bad motives and we were like, so what? Who cares? But
yeah, I'm surprised. Most people are not really taught to analyze their motives.
Right.
We're just taught to analyze the end of what happened.
Right.
Which is the result, but we're not told to check out where it began.
Right.
All this shit began in the metaphysical level inside of you. But because this is where one of those like really like ancillary negative effects of secularism, because there's such an emphasis on physicalism, all you have is results. Because whatever comes out in this world is that's it. It's physical result. You can put it in a lab, et cetera, et cetera. You cannot put a mentality, a mindset, a worldview in a lab. And so when you have a culture that's not focused on that, now you have cultures where everything is internal. I mean, external and results oriented, where you have other cultures that are more oriented toward inner work. Then those are the things that get valued. But this is a 10.5 for me.
This one's a 10 for me.
This is the best song I've heard in the last 60 days. I love this freaking song.
I feel like a lot of times on Metal Cat streams, you find one song where you're like, this one is... I feel like he always brings at least one banger.
He said that we've been listening to this band.
Yeah, he said we have 3 of them. So. Can you send me an email that has the 3 songs? Because I'm sure Vinny's going to want those on his playlist as well.
I absolutely do.
We'll be right back, you guys.
One of them was from the... we got another song on the way. Commercial.